Hello everyone, it is Rob Sachetto with another Robcast, Prevenge of the Nerd podcast. Yeah, it is Rob Sachetto, that is me. I am the creator of Zombie Portraits and the #1 zombie artist on Earth. Why? Because I draw zombies every single day, and I have for, well, over 15, 16 years. So yeah, plus I am the prince of pop culture. I love pop culture a lot. And I'm coming to you from my wonderful movie room here today. So I'm not going to do a movie review as such, but what I am going to do is respond to another fan request of doing a top 10 list. This time it is top 10 apocalyptic movies. I've kind of narrowed this down a little bit. Sure, there's going to be obviously some horror elements involved. I tried to go more into the apocalypse, not like life after the apocalypse, not post-apocalyptic films, but sort of events leading to the apocalypse. Without further ado, I'm going to start, and I'm going to start sort of actually going against what I just said a little bit. This is number 10. This will be I Am Legend. It's a Will Smith joint. I like this movie a lot. I thought it was pretty good. It was a pretty good action film based on the Omega Men. I Am Legend first, then Omega Men. I believe Charlton Heston. Charlton Heston do that? Vincent Price actually did a version of this too. I can't off the top of my head, I can't remember which version he did. I think. I'm blanking out on it, but anyway, this is basically, again, it is post-apocalyptic, but it kind of shows the going into the apocalypse and what happens. So there's these sort of weird zombie vampire type creatures that inhabit the earth now. The earth is obviously changed, and everyone's sort of gone. And Last Man on Earth, thank you, Rob. Last Man on Earth was the Vincent Price one, and then there was the Omega Man. Then there's this I Am Legend. So there's this one. This will be number 10. Good movie. I think a lot of people have already seen this one, but nonetheless, it is a good one to revisit. It's a lot of fun. The dog, there's a sort of relationship with his dog, which is great. I love that. Omega Man was actually pretty good too. I remember seeing that when I was a kid. It was kind of scary too. That was a good one. But I haven't seen the Vincent Price one. I haven't seen Last Man on Earth, but I plan to one day. Okay, so moving on. I've got Escape from New York. This is a John Carpenter deal with one of my favorite actors, Kurt Russell. So this one, again, it is kind of post-apocalyptic, but at the end, it enters into a more apocalyptic sort of sense where the world is changing and becoming even more sort of, primitive or changed and entering into more of the apocalypse. So this is a great one. This is Carpenter's a big fan of the apocalyptic sort of end of the world thing, as you'll see as we go down the list. So this is a great movie. It's a classic. Kurt Russell can do no wrong. I love this guy. He's the best, and a great film. It's a little slow moving in parts, but a really good one. And I think you'll enjoy this one if you check it out again. So then we've got As It Stands, 28 Days Later. So there was a follow up to this, which was 28 weeks later, which sort of. I guess continues this, but as this movie like as this movie in its own compartment, or sort of just as its own, it really shows a good sort of it really shows an interesting apocalyptic, like we're going into the apocalypse, this sort of, again, it's sort of zombies. They don't say it's zombies. They're these sort of rage virus creatures. But, you know, for all intents and purposes, we'll call them zombies. There are a lot of different types of zombies out there. So this was a great one. This is a Danny Boyle film. Cillian Murphy is the main protagonist in this film, and I love Cillian Murphy. He's great. You might remember him as Scarecrow in the Christopher Nolan Batman films. He's great. He's in a movie called Red Eye, which is awesome too. I love Cillian Murphy. I think he's fantastic. I think he's very underrated. He's been in a lot of stuff, but I think he deserves a higher profile out there in the movie business in Hollywood. Yeah. So. Now this one is going to be a very sort of divisive one. I think I love this version of the George Romero original Dawn of the Dead. This is this is just crazy good. I love this one. Sarah Pauli's in this. Ving Rhames. This was what was it? James Gunn did this one, I believe. Yeah, James Gunn. Yeah, did this. So it's weird because I always I pull these movies out. I always know who did them, but then I always have to double check because I don't want to give the wrong information. I hate doing that. So I'll be like, oh, who is it again? And I always know. So it's just this weird thing where, yeah, I always have to check just to make sure. I don't want to give anybody the wrong information. So this is basically I could cite all of the Romero films to a degree as being apocalyptic or post-apocalyptic or in any degree. I think Night of the Living Dead. They sort of wrap it up at the end, but with a zombie plague or a zombie virus or a zombie sort of outbreak, I don't think you can ever sort of sit there and go, okay, it's over, guys, that's it, we're never going to see these things again. So I would even place Night of the Living Dead in that category too. But as far as movies, I really enjoyed a lot. This one, I think, out of all of the remakes and even the originals, I really love this one the most. I know people probably hate me for saying that, but whatever, man. I like what I like. I'm not going to tell you not to like what you like. You love what you love. That's awesome. That's great. So cool. So Dawn of the Dead, the remake. This is the again remake of an original George Romero Dawn of the Dead movie by the same name. Okay, so yeah, this is definitely going. Wow, we really see almost in real time in this one. Them going into the apocalypse, the zombie apocalypse. So this is a really, you get to watch the transition basically from, perspective of everything's great to holy shit, what the hell's happening? And now it's way, by the end, and if you haven't seen it, I weep for you, but if you haven't seen this, you'll see by the end what happens. So it is a fantastic film. I really highly recommend this one. Next one. This is my absolute favorite zombie movie of all time. I make no secret about that. Return of the Living Dead. Again, this movie, there's always going to be some zombie movies in this category for sure, because zombies are... they should be considered almost a sign of the apocalypse. So this one, they kind of wrap it up at the end, but then they don't. They sort of restart it. So it's definitely a view of what's going to happen and a view of the coming apocalypse, because they kind of bomb the zombies in this one, and it becomes a recurring thing. So, but this movie is so great on so many levels. I've reviewed this movie before. You could check it out in the timeline here, are the movie in the movie reviews I've done. Just one of the best zombie movies I've ever seen. One of the most influential ones as well. And yeah, it's such a fun movie. It's a movie that is. It is serious, but there are a lot of like hilarious things that happen in it. So it's very humorous as well. So, but just a great movie. I almost consider this movie as weird and as quirky and as kind of all over the place as the Evil Dead series, like Evil Dead 2, and. I actually more Evil Dead 2. I think going into Army of Darkness is a little too much, but it almost has those kinds of elements in terms of like going from really stark seriousness, deadly seriousness, to laughs, but it all works somehow. So yeah, and it's films like that are very, very, very hard to do. So anyway, this is a fantastic one, very good apocalyptic movie. Another one of my very, very favorite films, another John Carpenter film, In the Mouth of Madness. Sam Neill stars in this one, and he plays such a fantastic role. He does such a fantastic job in this. He did a few horror movies. Like he did Event Horizon, this one. There was a couple other ones he did too, and he is just. He's amazing in this. Charlton Heston's in this as well. Plays a very small role. This is a great film. And definitely, this is another one that goes from like everything's fine to now we're in the apocalypse. So this is a very transitional type of movie. Again, John Carpenter likes his apocalyptic type films, and we'll see that again as we go. Okay, so there's that one. Coming in at, what do we got? Number 4. Sorry. Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Yeah. So I almost considered all of the Planet of the Apes movies like, apocalyptic ones. Like this kind of this series or this reboot or this reimagining of the Planet of the Apes franchise really starts it out on our Earth. It doesn't do that sort of weird, again, Charlton Heston, I'm citing him again, time loop or alternate universe thing or whatever from the very first Planet of the Apes movie, which is a great movie. It's a great series, actually. It's a lot of fun to watch, the entire series. But this really brings it back to reality, brings it down to Earth. And again, I like that. It's sort of like... what Christopher Nolan did with Batman, and like it grounds stuff, like the new Bond, the new Bond movies, take it from that silly campiness to, kind of reality. And I like that. I love the wacky, weird, campy stuff too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not one of these, I just like the gritty, dark stuff. No. But I do like reality-based stuff. And this really bases the franchise in reality. Like, how did it start? And this basically starts this like Planet of the Apes sort of apocalypse. It's just a real changing of how the Earth works. And a sort of a downfall of mankind. And as the series progresses, it gets really good. It's a fantastic series. So this is the beginning one. James Franco's in this one. He plays the main character, protagonist in this one. And I love James Franco too. I think he's great. So this is a really fantastic movie, a must watch, I think, and all of them. I think both franchises are great. Not a big fan of the Tim Burton one, but it's fun on its own. I don't know. I know, you know what, call me crazy, but I like that movie, man. Like everyone shits on that movie all the time. For what it is, it's good. They should just leave that. Obviously, they are leaving that alone, but in terms of like it being a standalone Apes movie, that's fine. You know, it's a lot of fun. Mark Wahlberg's in it, so you know. This is one of my absolute favorite movies, and Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and virtually every iteration of this one, except for the one where I think it's just, I can't remember if it's called The Invasion. There's a Nicole Kidman one with what's his name, Bond, in it. It's called The Invasion. It's not that great. There's another one that takes place on an army base with this young girl. It's not that great either. It's another Invasion of the Body Snatchers type movie. The original Invasion of the Body Snatchers and this, what, 78 I think it is? I believe it is 78. Yes, it is. Okay, so see, it's one of those things where I know it is, but I gotta check. 78, this version is, wow, right from the opening credits is so creepy. And this has the classic at the end, the Donald Sutherland point and scream meme that you've seen a billion times. This is where that comes from. This is a fantastic movie. It's the creepiest goddamn movie ever. Like, again, right from the get-go, right from the opening credits. It's got a really weird opening credits sequence that takes place, like, it looks like it's like sort of on another planet type of thing. Well, it's on another planet type of thing. And this is a fantastic movie, start to finish. This is one of those ones where I'm gonna probably watch it tonight, man, because it's so good. I haven't watched it in a while. It's a great film. Huge cast in this too. Very eclectic cast. Leonard Nimoy's in this, Donald Sutherland, and I think Jeff Goldblum's in this too. Yeah, Leonard Nimoy, Donald Sutherland, Goldblum. Yeah, they're all in this. So a great. See, again, I know that they're in this. I gotta check though. So anyway, there it is. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, just fantastic as a apocalyptic movie. And the first one, the one done in the 50s, holy crap, that was another one that was just fantastic. Seek that one out too. I think this one edges that one out just a smidge more because of its creepiness, but that original one, wow, it's, you know, people always kind of poo-poo the black and white sort of original movies, like, you know, I don't want to get into a ton of them, so I'm just going to say the black and white movies, people sort of like go, they weren't that good, they're in black and white. I find them the most atmospheric, beautifully lit, crisp, wonderful, you know, things ever, but I'm going to maybe get into that in another podcast, but definitely, anyway, this one is fantastic. Definitely watch this one. This is, yet again, another zombie movie, and it is Zombie 2. Was there a Zombie 1? No, there was not. This is Lucio Fulci basically taking advantage of Night of the Living Dead, pretending that this is a sequel to that movie by calling it Zombie 2, because I believe the Night of the Living Dead in Italy, or in Europe even, was called Zombie. So they decided to call this Zombie 2 as almost, you know, wanting to tie it in as a sequel to Night of the Living Dead. So anyway, regardless of all that, this movie is absolutely fantastic, and when you watch it, you'll sort of go, okay, so Rob, it's not that much of an apocalyptic movie until the absolute end. The end scene basically gives you the apocalyptic vision. So definitely a great movie all around, a great zombie movie, a great horror movie. It's crazy. I think I might have given a quick review of it before, or mentioned it before. There's the shark, zombie versus shark sequence underwater, just incredible. There's the splinter in the eye scene. There's like tons of set pieces that are just amazing in this film, and yeah, so definitely another going in where everything's totally normal at the beginning, and then right by the time we get to the end, we're entering into the apocalypse. So this is another great apocalypse type movie. Definitely watch this one. It's a great one. Now, my number one movie, apocalypse movie, is The Thing. Why The Thing? Because the end, like, there's clues all throughout this movie. This is another John Carpenter one, by the way, if you didn't know, of course, like, you had to know. This one is just amazing. I'm not going to really, if you haven't seen it, my God, you watch it. And as you kind of know, you see throughout, there are clues that maybe tell us that there already is an apocalypse happening. If not, then the results of this, either way, what happens at the end, whatever happens, there will be, at some point, the end of the earth, an apocalypse, and it's an alien-based apocalypse. So I'm not going to spoil anything else about this movie. Again, Kurt Russell's in this. It is absolutely fantastic. I love Russell in this. This is one of the best movies ever made, as far as I'm concerned. Definitely watch it. That is my top 10, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up. I'm going to end this video now. Check out my Patreon page, of course. New content every single day. I'm going to leave the link in the bottom description. Stay safe. Stay indoors for the time being, please. Stay healthy, guys. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all again soon with more video content about some pop culture stuff, because I love that stuff and I love talking to pop culture. All right, I'll talk to you all soon. Take care. Love you. Bye-bye.